We have Lightsworn Runic for you today. We have Centurion, Salamangreat. You know, this meta is very interesting. Did you guys smash the link, grab out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content? So we have a Lightsworn Runic pile for you today. You heard me say that correctly. I do believe this is just mill out central, but you know what? If you can accurately pull off results with this and make a top 8 like this duelist actually did, you know what? Let's try it out here. Basically, my only real concerns about this are you don't really have any kind of real value off of this. I mean, it's a free little extension, but you're not getting to pull out the big guns that you would normally want to. And you, in terms of your Lightsworn mills, you're going to be milling pretty quick here. But what is your results and what is your end board that you're pressuring for? I mean, obviously, Omega is going to be a free resource. You can get to a Cheng Ying pretty easily. Minerva is going to help you facilitate a lot of things, but in terms of like raw draw power, yeah, that's what the fountain's for. It's to provide you with that, but you would also kind of think in terms of as much gas as this deck is attempting to have, you might have some very questionable hands. Hey, look, we got a Raiden plus a charge plus a tip. All right, well, we're getting places there. We have Fountain plus, oh look, see, this is what I was worried about. I guess you can at least discard the Wolf out of that hand. And then, of course, hey, look, a Dead Soul Recharge. But we did have the charge in the hand, so you're going to get as much free value as you kind of want to see here. So your biggest takeaways here, you got a lot of gas. And I mean, you got a lot of gas, all right? But I feel like, once again, hey, look, as long as you, I guess you can draw Charge, Soul Recharge, you'll just be the best duelist in the whole wide world. Side deck down here is a lot of the same meta standard stuff that you're used to seeing in terms of things, but I don't know. I really wish we could do something with the little dragon here. It's cool that he's a little extender for the deck, but I want more. I want to be able to sift through, take all of the advantage that we're gaining here, and be able to do something with it. And this is a cool concept. It really is. It's just, I think this needs to be refined a lot more before we go too much further. All right. Centurion. Now, I always am happy to see the success out here for this duelist. It is always a pleasure to see these things. And I'm not going to lie, I was very happy to see Centurion be their choice today. We are playing one copy of the Wake Up Centurion down here. I have heard this card really does kind of make people kind of question if they want to choose to play this deck or not. And hardly anybody I've seen plays Wake Up Centurion. It is a token generator, which can be very, very important to the deck. I do recommend considering this. And then, of course, you do have the Phalanx and the Awakening both present in the same list. Most of the time, Phalanx will be in the main, and then you'll see either, you know, a Centurion Awakening down in the side deck, or they'll just choose to play it over the Phalanx. I think the value the Phalanx does give you is a little bit more important in some games. The free little banish can actually matter out here. And then, of course, hand trap selection. I think this is fine. Also, the double super poly, trying to keep it down here to 40 as much optimally as you can. I can understand why you might not want to have too much super poly clogging. And also, this build chose to not play any of the Horus package. And I will say it is actually kind of cool. See, we're kind of getting back to our roots out here for Centurion, you know, kind of stepping away from more of the craziness and, you know, the crazy heavy numbers that we were really used to seeing in some of the early stages, you know, needing that Horus package to get things going. No, now Gargoyle exists, so you're kind of able to do the easy lines. And I mean, Emmett's also still here. Can't forget about that. But this deck also still feels kind of fragile to me, but that's just my opinion. We're still playing the deck lockdowns down here. Yes. And, of course, the shifter in the side deck. Yeah, this is a very degenerate combo pile. That just skips your opponent's turn. Same thing, different day. Gotta love it. We have Salamangreat. Now, I'm going to tell you, we're kind of on like a Salamangreat Renaissance right now in the game, because after we came across YCS Japan and we saw Salamangreat just kind of coming through the woodwork here and smashing on people's doors, a lot more people have been kind of returning back to Salad right now and giving this deck a second chance. chance. And I think it kind of says something in the meta that, you know, Salad does have a lot of different opinions that you're able to do. One of those actually is with this list. You are playing the Fire Recovery in here. I think most people kind of tend to step away from the Fire Recovery. Nothing wrong with the card, all right? It's just sending the card from the hand to the graveyard. You know, you typically would want to dump something that you could revive as like a little extender, but I don't see any list hardly ever actually playing this at the moment. Also, this is kind of cute. I see we have a Black Rose Dragon down here. So in the case of, you know, having your tuner monster come up, you can actually kind of get a board clear. One of the things I don't personally like with this list is instead of playing the third Raging Phoenix, they actually opted for the additional Sunlight Wolf, in my opinion. I don't know. I think there are so many situations that you look at with this deck, and the Raging Phoenix as, you know, a 3 of tends to really, really be big. But I can understand where you would want the additional Sunlight Wolf. It's going to come down to a lot of where you're attempting to play this deck at. If it's more of a local grinder, you're going to have some more really, really grindy games. So based on that thought, you're going to have to make decisions to kind of complement your local meta for that. So I could understand the extra or the Sunlight Wolf instead of this, depending on, once again, your localized meta. But it is nice to see that we're going through such a strong revolution with this deck and the fact that people are back on it. All right, I wanted to cover the first place list out of this weekend's YCS. Kind of give some of my thoughts on this. As you know, we're kind of at the point now that Snake Eyes is the best deck in the room. Yeah, who saw that coming, all right? When we got the Snake Eyes Via Bellswire, this was kind of like the icing on the cake for this package to solidify that, you know, this was the top of the food chain now, and that this was going to be the thing you were going to have to compete with. And I don't think anybody's really questioning that. The thing that's definitely kind of changed the way that this deck has been, at least down the innovation lines, has been Fenrir and Unicorn, honestly. The fact that Tweedledee and Tweedledum here, these two have kind of been those cards that give this deck some more mid-range control. Also, Fenrir being able to pull into Unicorn is a little bit stupid. Also, Unicorn getting a free extra deck rip off of your opponent, not only getting the knowledge of what your opponent's playing, but the fact that you can silence out any of the potential threats in a mirror match. That's insane, actually. So these two cards are doing a lot for them. And like, this is just a little 4-card package in here. Now, obviously, if you're doing like Jet Synchron plays, you can open up the door to like making an Omega a little bit easier, but this does not call for that. Actually, I think one of the most exciting things we have down here is actually a Hope Harbinger, actually, because this is not something that I've really seen people exploring the option for. It's just, it's kind of here if you need it. But once again, that's kind of cool, actually. It's all about your little tech choices and things that you can make along the way in terms of deck building. But outside of that, this is also kind of cool. We have an assembled Nightingale in here as well. No Fucho, and we are doing the Deltas and the 1 of Gamma. Well, congratulations to Rafael for taking down the YCS this weekend. Very cool to see. And our last list here is Heroes. Wow. Back at it again with the Dark Angel Turbo. I will say that it is kind of interesting to see the opinions on hero players at the moment. Do you need to play the Dark Angel, or do you need to not play the Dark Angel? And realistically, it comes down to your meta, all right? If you have a lot of players that play a lot of spell cards, then you're probably going to want the Dark Angel. If not, well, it's fine. Oh, hey, look. Somebody watched a Tenpai profile and said, you know what, we're going to adapt this on into Heroes. All right, I'm not going to make a board going first because you're just going to break it. So I'm just going to Heat Wave you, and then I'm going to OTK you on the follow-up. This is smart. This is the kind of stuff you like to see out here. This is players playing to their strengths and innovating, all right, pushing their limits out here, trying to come up with some very interesting things, which is kind of cool. But on the flip side of the equation out here, keep in mind that this might not always work because Nibiru is still a card this doesn't, you're still going to get space rocked out of nowhere if really need be. So outside of that, I think this is kind of cool to see something a little bit more innovative, at least in terms of, you know, ideas that we can try. People are coming up with some very interesting ideas right now in the course of things. Let's keep this level of innovation up. I'm looking forward to seeing what more people will kind of come up with. So, interesting decks out of today. Make sure you guys leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I will see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Stay safe out there. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.